hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody today? I am Lenora, and this is Show Me the Shift. And so today, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do a redo of yesterday because of the fact that I realized that my audio, I don't know what's going on. The enemy is busy and has been in my audio for some reason all this week. And so I think I finally have the code cracked of actually having the right video streaming and the right audio streaming. So, this is all new for me, but I am really excited to be here today because what I wanted to do, because yesterday's video and the audio was just way too hard to understand and it was clicky and it was going in and out. And so I said, what I was going to do is to take the time to go ahead and actually redo the broadcast for the show in regards to how to create your AI twin. And so there are prompts and ways in which you can create an AI twin. And I am actually using this actual course that I purchased right here in the School Academy called the Digital Boss Code. And so basically, I'll pull up here the QR code in case anybody is interested in purchasing this particular product. I think that it has been absolutely a game changer and amazing. Just to show you some of the photos that it has created of me, AI versions, I'll put those here on the screen. And so this is me not being at a photo shoot, me just actually telling AI some prompts, and this is what it created. So I'll go through a few of these here just so that you can see them. Of course, this is the skinnier version of me, my AI self, but also with all the makeup on, all the glam, right? So I don't know. I feel as though a lot of these look a lot like me, and it just created different things, like just based on what it is that you say that you want. I'll show a few more. Here's some right here. Let's see, maybe these right here I really like. So this is me, in Gay Paris, just hanging out, at a cafe and, loving life and enjoying. So everything that you see and that people are doing may not actually be real. It could be their AI version of themselves living, victoriously and living vicariously through their AI self, which I think these images are amazing. So today, what I'm going to do is take you step by step through a tutorial to help you to understand how you can do this as well. Or you can even go to, like I said, the Digital Boss Code. Here's the QR code. This is the actual course that I've purchased. I'm paying a monthly subscription. I think it's $38 to be a part of this particular academy, as you can call it, to learn all there is about AI. And as I showed here, it has information in regards to everything, the welcome, how to do an architect class that's just recently started, how to create ebooks, how to use ManyChat, which is basically where you've probably seen this on Instagram, where somebody puts a comment in, like it says, comment I'm ready below and you get this, or comment joy below and you get this. And so basically when somebody puts that comment in there, it will actually automatically respond to them either in the chat or the DM. And so they're telling you how to go about doing that. And especially if you're a business owner, you're getting a lot of volume coming in, you probably want to make sure you have certain things automated. There's different prompts that you can use. There's reels that you can put out there. Look at this, effortlessly create hundreds of video reels using AI. AI Gold Rush, the art of photo shoots with AI, your AI twin. This is the part that we're going to talk about today. So the list goes on and on and on. And so if you are interested, like I said, just use your phone, get this QR code, or you can go to coachedbylenora.com and there you can find Digital Boss Code and you can purchase it that way if you're interested. But if not, I'm going to teach you right now how to go about doing that. So you go to a website. This is where it all starts. You go to Fal.ai. And when you go to Fal.ai, it takes you here. And then you just go and say that you're going to generate, some kind of item, right? Now, for me personally, it's going to take you to like a starting page and you'd have to sign in and create your credentials, all of that. Now, because of the fact that I'm already in this particular site, it didn't do that for me. It's taken me directly to where I need to go to start the process. And so now this is just, imagine I've already, put in my email address, put in my password, all these things so that I can gain access. Now, what I will say is that for this particular page, you do have to input some cash, some money, some use a credit card, use a debit card, whatever, to upload some money, because each generation of your AI self is going to cost you about $2 or $3. And so you want to go ahead and at least have $10 on the book. So once you get to this screen, I would go straight to billing. And I would say, okay, in the billing section, let me just go ahead and say, I'm going to upload $10. Now, I ended up doing more just because of the fact that my AI self looked nothing like me at all when I first started. I must not be good at taking selfies or something, because you can take selfies, you can take half body, you can take whole body pictures, upload it, as long as it can get your features. And so basically, my first few, I can show you a little later, did not look anything like me. So based on that, I would say make sure that you do $10. It probably will look better for you. You're probably going to be better at this than I was. And plus, I'm giving you all the details that I didn't know as well when I originally was doing this. And so, but yeah, so $10, you go ahead, you put in your information, you save that, and then you're good to go. This is the only thing you need to do on this page, is just upload a little cash so that way it can use that to generate the AI version of you, right? Then you go up here to the search bar at the very top, and you go to what is called Flux, and you're going to come, it should say Flux-lora, L-O-R-A, fast training. And it's basically a way in which you can train AI on what you look like, and who you are, and how it should determine how to create you, right? And so now you're here. So when you are here, in this section, what you are going to do is you are going to upload into your computer 20 photos of yourself, not 10, not 15, not 18, not 25, not 21, 20 photos of yourself, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to take 20 photos. They can be selfies, like I said, half body, whole body, any kind of pictures that are of just you. And you're going to want to take all of those and put them into a folder. And in there, you're going to right click on every single one of them, or click, 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 right click, and then make sure that the name ends in, and this is very, very important, it ends in photo of underscore Lenora. So, and you should do it as photo underscore of underscore Lenora. And that's it. So every photo should say photo underscore of underscore Lenora. Well, not Lenora, but your name. So my name, because it's Lenora, that's what I had to do. But if it's Susie, if it's Jean, if it's Bob, whatever, but you want to go ahead and make sure that you have it photo underscore of underscore in your name. Once you do that, you make that a zip file. So other words, you can right click on the file and you can compress it. So every photo is going to have your name attached to it in some way, shape, or form. And the reason why is because when you come over to this screen, you're going to upload that zip file. You're going to upload that compressed file. Now, I will say another option is you can just add images. Right here, you can add individual 20 images. It just takes longer. So therefore, if you just put all the images, like I went right from my iPhone to my MacBook, and I just selected 20 photos. I airdropped it to my MacBook. I put it into a folder. I changed the name to have my name included on there, photos underscore of underscore Lenora. And then I went ahead, compressed it, made it a zip file, brought it over here, uploaded it. It might sound like a lot, but it wasn't that bad. Or you can just send all the photos over and then just individually upload 20 individual photos here, right? And as you upload each one, it's going to take over one of these boxes here, and you can just keep going and going and going. But again, 20 photos. I tried to do 22, and that's where, if you look over here, you see all these failed attempts. It's the failed attempts because 22 was way too many for the system to be able to generate and process. So therefore, I wasn't realizing that. So I kept spending $2, $2, $2, trying to figure out, why is it failing? Why is it failing? And then realize, oh, it's at 20, not 22. So therefore, the file size was too big. It wouldn't process, so it wouldn't work. Now you go in and you put in your trigger word. So the trigger word is your name. So whatever you did your photos as with your name, that's what you put as your trigger word. And then you press start. So I'm not going to do this right now because I've already done it. I already did that. It uploaded. I'm not uploading my photos, but I already uploaded my zip file. I already put my trigger word. I already did all of these things. So then what you do is you go and you go after you do start, then you come over to run inference. So what you do is it's going to process all your photos. It's going to figure out your face, your structure, your contouring, all of those things. And then what it will do is it will say complete. Once it's complete, then you run the inference. And when you run the inference, what happens is, let's see here. Is that over here? Oh, there, that's the other one. So let's go back to run inference. And when you run inference, what it's going to do, and let me go back here. Hold on one second. I think because it's on this screen over here, I'm going to get rid of that because I think it's pulling in information from over there. So let's refresh. Run inference. D. Oh, duh. Okay, so you're going to run inference. I'm remembering now because of the fact that you haven't done this before, right? I've already ran my inference. It already knows what to infer, what types of photos of me to infer, right? So therefore, what will happen is I will go through and let's see here. Just give me 1 second. We got explore. As I'm talking through it, I want to make sure that I'm doing it exactly the way that you all need to do it. So we did the billing, we did Flux. You get distracted as you talk and try to do things at the same time. There we go. All right. So then we basically had where I was completed. I had the inference. Create. We already created the files. These are some of the photos that it came up with of me previously before I put any kind of trigger words or anything in the system, or I guess I'd say prompts, right? Because there's ways in which you can put prompts into the system as well. So we're going to say, do, 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 dee, 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 dee. No, da, da, da. Da, da, da. Up and there it goes, failing again because of the fact that I did the thing. So let's show outputs and let's do the field. See, this is what happens when you're trying to show things as you're trying to do things, right? So what will happen is you will go through and you will put in your prompts into this particular setting. And what will happen is it will give you the ability to be able to create different types of versions of yourself, right? Which is pretty cool. So for me personally, I didn't know any prompts to give, which is kind of strange. Like you don't know exactly what to say to a bot when you're trying to do all of these things. And so what I found was that the best thing that worked for me was for me to go through and actually use a prompt guide. Or you could go to a chat GPT and ask it to create some prompts for you, but it will go through and it will tell you exactly what it is that you can put into the system and create different types of photos of yourself, which is really, really exciting and really cool, right? And so what you can do is, for me personally, let me see if I can find my prompt book just so I can show you all the one that I purchased. Okay, here we go. So this is a prompt book that I purchased, and it gives you all the prompts of what you need for AI. And so I can open it. And then she has all of these like 90 different prompts that you can use to make all of this. So every single image of her, and she was a photographer, like actually a photographer of people in like Hollywood and like celebrities, things like that. And then she decided to change over or at least add to her business, not only doing photography, but also doing AI versions because so many people were not doing headshots and things of that nature. So what she utilized was the Fal.ai, the Flux-lora, and then Kling AI, which Kling AI actually brings all of your photos to life, which is pretty cool. And so when you prompt, you're just saying things like it says here, a cozy living room with warm lighting, neutral tones, and a minimalist furniture. And when you say those things, then all of a sudden that is what comes into view when you press enter, which is really cool. And so she has a ton of different prompts on here, how you can go about setting up, like for example, this. I used this particular one, right? And so, and you saw me with the one with the gray suit on. I have a few of these I've actually already tried. So you'll see the versions of me from using these prompts in the system here in just a second. But I'll also show you how it did not look like me very early on as well, because of the fact that the photos that I uploaded, if they're not really good quality photos, if there's not great lighting, if it really can't tell what your facial features and structure looks like, then it's not going to create anything that looks like you. But that's where you just want to make sure that you upload as best as possible, the clearest and nicest pictures. But here it's saying, you know, someone sitting, it's a modern chair with soft pink. I mean, like it spells out everything. It spells out even the hair, all of that, right? So when we go over here, and we look at what came out for me. Let's see here. Let's see, where was it? Complete run inference. All right. And so you'll see all the different versions that it created of me, right? Which is pretty cool. And so if we go back, and let's say put in one of the prompts, right? So let's say, and I'm going to test this. This is going to be a live test because I'm not sure if this is actually going to show up the way that I wanted to. Every now and then it will literally pull up like a whole different type of person. But let's say we want to have it where I'm speaking in front of, you know, a group of people. I'm going to leave the hairstyle out because I do want it to be my own hairstyle, but we're going to just copy the prompt. And then we're going to paste it. And this is why the trigger word is really important. So after you run, you let it figure out what your AI twin looks like. You run the inference. You're going to come to the screen where you can actually put in your prompt, right? And so, and it doesn't matter if it's a paragraph form or whatever. You leave everything the same, but you do click on more. And when you click on more, you're just going to say, because each photo, after it does that original photo of you for $2 or so, after that, everything is literally pennies. Like everything, it literally says here, your request will cost 0.035 per megapixel. So therefore, it's just pennies that it literally costs after you do that. So it really does last you a really long time. But there's no need to just do one image when that's the case. So I always say to do 4 images and then I run it. And what will happen is it will basically take a few seconds to do it. Oh, it didn't do 4 images. It did 1. It looks really nice, but let me go back and put it where it's supposed to be 4. Hold on. Let's see. Run 4 images. Let's see why I didn't do that. Let's run again. Again, it's only a couple of pennies, so it's totally fine. Huh. That is so strange because normally it is doing exactly that. So let's see. Guidance, scale. Of course, because you're trying to teach, this is what happens. So, but yeah, but you can see the image that it has here. Let's say that it does say speaking at a podium, which I'm not seeing the podium on here. It does have the same outfit on, but it doesn't have where the podium is at. So let's look and see if we can, let's see if I only tell it to do 2 images, what happens. Run. Is it going to do 2? Nope, it still does 1. Oh, I like the hair though. That's nice. So yeah, so it's kind of got a mind of its own this time, right? I don't know what's the change for that, but I do love how these pictures are coming out and they do look like AI makeup versions of me, right? And so therefore, based on this though, what you can do is you can always go over to this little creator tab and you can see what pops up in regards to you. This one is taking a little bit of time to populate just because it literally 27 seconds ago, less than a minute ago, came up. This one didn't look anything like me, so I deleted it. I was like, oh no, that didn't look anything like me. But yeah, so you can just kind of come in and look around and play around and see what exactly it is gonna, produce as the images, which is really cool. And it has been trained to know who you are and what you look like. So it's going to consistently show you a lot of the images of yourself exactly as you look. Now, what you can do with any of these images is that you can take them and you can actually go over to a website called Klang or Kling AI, KLING Fling AI. And I took one of the photos that it created of me previously, and you can see it turns it into a video. It's the craziest thing. Like, it literally turns any photo that you upload into it into a video. And so there are a lot of, video images that people are creating right now of different things and sceneries and things of that nature. And so it just shows you how amazing all of this is. And you can, when you're making your actual images, you can put whatever you want on here. Like, for example, this says standing confidently in a textured purple, but let's say if I said yellow, in a textured yellow off-shoulder blazer dress, and let's say speaking to a crowd. Let's just say that. And we'll play with it. We'll see. The good thing is, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's, if it works out or doesn't, because it's literally pennies that you're spending to create the images. So let's erase, and let's go back and say 4, and let's run. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it does 1 or 4. It's taking a little longer. And just like that. It went through and changed it to where instead of a different color dress, it's a yellow dress. So now, one of the things that I personally say is look out for your appendages, right? Your feet, your hands, things like that, because sometimes what happens is that it does not look realistic. In my opinion, I just feel as though that doesn't quite look like how it should look, in regards to how everything should be. But yeah, so this is kind of it in a nutshell of how you can figure out and determine what everything looks like. You can look at it in different ways. And I have other images as well. Let's see if I can get to those. I don't know how to get to those, the log of other images. So, but I wanted to show you all the ones that didn't quite work out, but you probably don't even need to see those because they literally did not look like me at all. At all. Like, it was crazy how off they were. But yeah, so that's basically what it is. Again, just a quick reminder, you go to Fal.ai. Once you get there, you actually go through, you go to billing, you put a couple of dollars, on the invoice. You can see I've already done so many things today, and I'm still at $10. I think $10.83 right now that I still have on here. So it shows you that there's not, a lot that you're spending for that. Then you come over here and you go to Flux, and it should come up with Laura Fast Training. You go there. Once you're here, then that's when you go through, you upload your zip file of those 20 photos that you've created. And then from there, you put your trigger word, you press start. After you do that, it's going to compute, I guess, compilate maybe different. It takes a while. It probably will take 2 to 5 minutes for it to figure out how to make an actual video of you. And then from there, or a picture of you. And then from there, you run the inference. And then when you do that, it actually comes up and brings up the different options for you to be able to create your own AI self based on you showing the photos and you giving it the prompt, the correct prompt that it needs in order for it to be able to show you what you want to see, right? And it does say here, I forgot to mention this, your request will cost $2 per training run. So every time you do a training run, hopefully yours will be the first one, but if not, then every time that you do one, then you'll be able to show. It'll end up costing you $2, and that will give you what it's going to show you in regards to how you look. But yeah, but I've just thought that it was pretty cool. I'm still learning the system, obviously, as I'm teaching you all. I just went through a training on it last week. So as I'm going through and trying to figure it out, I really am enjoying it. So anyway, that is all that I wanted to share today, was just a little bit more. Again, I tried to show something yesterday in regards to this. It didn't quite work out, just based on the fact that it was acting a little quirky, but with the microphone, but I'm glad that I think today it's a little bit cleaner, a little bit fresher. And like I said, you can just see how your AI twin can kind of be in different places that you may never be. You may never be in some of these places, but it does tell you, even right here, what your actual prompt was. So that way, if you wanted to do the images again, you could go through and say, oh, yep, this is me. I'm going to go ahead and do the images again. Oh, here we go. I'll show y'all some of the other ones that came up. Here's some of the ones with the purple with me at the podium. Like I said, I don't know why just now when I tried to put that exact same prompt in, it was acting up a little bit. But I mean, it could be that there's a lot of people on here in the usage of time of it. It's the middle of the day. People are out here creating projects and things of that nature. So it could just be a timing issue and a glitch. All of this is so technical. But yeah, so it does show different versions of me. This one is in front of a crowd, like all of those things, which is pretty cool. This is one of me on a corporate jet, and I don't know why it wanted to make it like ooh la la, but yeah. So just because you see somebody on a corporate jet doesn't mean that they actually were. And then the ones that did not look like me, if I can talk about it. Let's see here. Here we go. So originally, like from far away, my first set of photos, I thought, like, oh, these kind of maybe look like me. But then when I clicked into them, I was like, oh, no, that's not my face. Like it's close, but no cigar, right? It's a little bit like me, but it's not really me. So then I decided I'm going to go ahead and redo my photos, do it again. This one's still a little bit like me, not really me. And then I got to where it really stopped looking like me, like it looked like a whole different person. So I was like, oh, this time that I uploaded everything, it just was totally a different person. I don't know who that person was. And so therefore I said, I've got to get better at this. So then that's when I went ahead and I just went from a photo shoot that I took. And I was like, let me just go ahead and use the photos from that photo shoot. And then once I did that, that's when the pictures really did start, reflecting me a little bit more. And then once you have it nailed down, you don't have to do anything else. Like you don't have to continue to upload photos or anything. You just leave it as it is. And the photos will be generated. So on that note, that is all for this episode of Show Me the Shift. Sorry for all the little technical things that I've had kind of going on here as I've been just trying to navigate it, but it's a really simple way to do it. It's just learning where to go and where to click. But again, Fal.ai, Flux-lora, and then being able to put in your trigger word, making sure your photos have that trigger word on them, and then going through and making sure every prompt that you put through actually has that trigger word as well. And as long as that word is the first thing, like Lenora sitting in, Susie sitting by, Bob standing at podium, whatever the case may be, and then work from there, then the photos will come. So it's pretty cool. I've really been enjoying playing around with it. So if you start to see some of my AI twins online, you'll know where it came from. So on that note, I hope everybody has an amazing, amazing day. Take care of yourself. Have a great weekend. And we'll be back next week with Show Me the Shift. Talk to you later. Bye.